Good day, virtual learners. It is nice to see you again. I hope that every one of you has an incredible day just like me. We are now in the second lesson for this quarter. I anticipate that you can still catch up with your activities in your learning module. To obtain quality learning in the time of pandemic, let us all be hardworking and responsible. Also, don't forget what we have always said. Let's help and support one another with the hashtag. No matter what the situation is, education must continue. Today, we will dive into another fun-filled learning engagement about propaganda techniques. This learning session will be revolving around these specific objectives. Use emphasis markers for persuasive purposes, and use appropriate persuasive devices or propaganda techniques. Now, let us recall our learning principles. Listen, note, and learn. Listen attentively and pay attention throughout the discussion. Note the important details. Learn something new, and together, we learn as one. Always remember, listen, note, and learn. For today's discussion, we will use the strategic, localized, and interactive instructional material about the spirit of words in propaganda techniques, prepared by Ma'am Catherine G. Degula of Parada National High School. Before we proceed to our lesson proper, I prepared a game. Are you familiar with the game Guess the Gibberish? If yes, that's great. But we will call this game Guess the Brand. For those who are not familiar to this, don't worry, I will tell you the mechanics. The game is divided into 3 levels: easy, average, and difficult. For the mechanics, read the group of unrelated words that I'll be showing to you, then translate them into real phrases before the time runs out. You will be given 5 seconds to answer for the easy level and 10 seconds for the average and difficult level. Let's get started. Well done, learners! For those who got 5 and above, kindly click the Heart React button. Thank you for your active participation. This shows your eagerness for our today's lesson. Propaganda techniques are usually used in advertising a product or service. At the same time, we have discussed in our previous lessons that propaganda can be also used by the government and other organization or institution. So, it is very important to have the ability to distinguish between facts and opinions. In that way, we will not be easily swayed and make decisions in an instant. Here are some words that we can use when giving facts and opinions. The ability to distinguish between fact and opinion helps you develop your critical and analytical skills, both in your reading and listening aspects. Fact and opinion are often woven together in texts and speeches. It is therefore imperative that you can unravel or figure out the threads of what is true from what is mere belief if you are to successfully navigate the deluge or flow of media you will encounter in your lifetimes. Whether on the news, in advertising, or a history book, distinguishing between what is fact and what is opinion is crucial to becoming an autonomous person with the critical abilities necessary to avoid being manipulated easily. Now, are you familiar with the emphasis markers? It aims to convince the reader of an idea or an opinion to take action. These emphasis markers are words and expressions that emphasize a point according to their categories and functions, which are vital to understand and use when writing persuasively. Let's have the rhetorical question. Question asked just for effect or to emphasize a point. For example, who doesn't want success? This question do not expect an answer, but it will trigger an internal response from the reader, such as an empathy with questions like, how would you feel? Or, what do you think about this? Number 2. Modality. Words used to indicate the degree to which something is probable. For example, it is certain that if you do not clean the ocean now, environment will suffer. Can you tell where is the modal verb here? Correct. It is will. Just as tense indicates a time aspect of a verb, words that are used to show modality indicate the mood of the sentence. That is how factual or assertive the statement is, and it can be done in any number of ways. Now let's have the third one, emotive language. Language used to make the reader feel certain emotions. For example, there are thousands of animals at the mercy of our selfishness and disregard for kindness. Now, can you tell what are the emotive language or emotive words here? Correct. Mercy, selfishness, and disregard are the emotive words here. These words can be used to cause different reactions in the audience. Personal pronoun. Words used to make the reader feel like you are talking to them. For example, we have to work together, especially in these trying times. What is the pronoun used here? Very good. The pronoun used here is we. The use of personal pronouns can draw the readers into the material that you are writing and make them feel more involved immediately. Next is repetition. Important words or phrases that are used more than once. For example, it is up to us to make a change. It is up to us to make a stand. And it is up to us to make a difference. Repetitive phrase here is, "It is up to us." It is a favored tool among orators because it can help to emphasize a point and make a speech easier to follow. It also adds to the powers of persuasion. Studies show that repetition of a phrase can convince people of its truth. Writers and speakers also use repetition to give words rhythm. Last is the exaggeration, providing information that is inflated or over the top. For example, the playground will never be clean again if everyone keeps littering like this. This kind of statement creates a worse or better image or situation than it really is. It is used to highlight points and add emphasis to a feeling, an idea, an action, or a feature. Are you still with me? Let's now move to the next part of our discussion. Since we have discussed the propaganda techniques in our previous sessions, we will just have a quick review. First is the name calling. Links a person or idea to a negative symbol. Glittering generalities. Links a person or idea to positive symbol. Third, transfer. Associating a respected person or idea with whatever is being promoted. Fourth, testimonial. Seeking support for an idea or product by having it endorsed by a famous person. Fifth, plain folks. Users of this product or proponents of this course of action are simple, down-to-earth people like you and me. Card stacking presents information which is favorable to the person, cause, or product. Next is the snob appeal. Only the richest, most important, or most discerning people like this idea or product. Last, bandwagon. Everybody's in favor of it. So, join the crowd. To sum it up, propaganda is the use of a variety of communication techniques that create an emotional appeal to accept a particular belief or opinion, to adopt a certain behavior, or to perform a particular action. Propaganda in advertising is just the same. It is the careful presentation of information in a way that influences how a customer or a potential consumer sees the product or service and how they act, think, or feel as a result. How do advertisers do this? It is by using techniques which include card stacking, transfer, snob appeal, name calling, bandwagon, glittering generalities, testimonial, and plain folks. They use the art of persuasion by convincing someone else to carry out an action or to act or agree with an idea. For the other aspect of persuasive purposes, emphasis markers are also utilized when writing persuasively. Alright, I hope that everything is clear. Apparently, no one knows when this pandemic will end, but we are sure it's getting near. So while we are waiting for its end, education must not freeze. Thank you for watching, and to you grade 8 students, have a nice day. See you in our next session. Goodbye, stay safe, and God bless.